Market shows resilience in face of U.S. recession fears sparked by Fed chair's remarks. Nifty and sensex trade with a quarter-point cut. The mid-cap index trades flat, while select metals as well as auto stocks see buying, while banks face pressure today.
U.S. Fed Chief Jerome Powell says the central bank may need to undertake more rate hikes than previously envisaged, as the pace of rate hikes may also be quicker than anticipated. The U.S. two-year yield surges to a 15-year high on the remarks. Asian equity markets fall. The dollar charges ahead, pushing gold and crude lower.
Adani Group promoters release pledged shares worth 7,374 crore rupees from various international banks and Indian institutions. Adani Ports sees the highest amount of pledge release at 11.8%, followed by Adani Transmission at 4.5%. Adani Enterprises and Adani Green also see a reduction in promoter pledges.
And a CNBC-TV18 exclusive, sources tell us the RBI is likely to extend IndusInd Bank CEO Sumant Kathpalia's term by 3 years. The central bank is said to have found Kathpalia's performance satisfactory and is therefore likely to favor management stability at the bank.
And the Citi deal was a great opportunity to add an affluent franchise to Axis Bank, says the CEO Amitabh Chaudhry. Tells CNBC-TV18 that the deal's valuations were competitive and that he sees huge synergy benefits going forward. Adds that the bank is not looking to raise capital as of now. Hello and welcome. You've tuned into Business Lunch. I'm Nisha Poddar, and with me as always is my co-anchor Pavitra Parekh. So Pavitra, the global uncertainties really are something that are impacting all the global markets. But I would say our Indian markets are far more resilient at the moment. At lunch hour, about 0.21% down on Nifty 50 and 37 points cut. So at 17,674, about 70 points higher than the low point of the trading session. Now looking at Bank Nifty, that is definitely outperforming the key indices on the flat line, but with a negative bias at the moment. And mid-cap index again flat. And advanced decline ratio are neck and neck because mid-caps really not showing the downtick. In fact, when we take a look at some of those key losers in Nifty 50 component, well, Bajaj Finance, Hindalco, Infosys, Sun Pharma are some of the ones which are topping the chart in terms of the percentage decline. And when we talk about the gainers, IndusInd Bank is really gaining with a lot of gusto, along with Adani Enterprises showing a green tick because of the news developments. Bajaj Auto, Adani Ports, NTPC, some of the other gainers in trade at the moment.
In fact, picking up from Bajaj Auto, it's not just Bajaj, it's pretty much that entire auto pack which is charging ahead today. Of course, there were two very positive brokerage notes that came through on Bajaj Auto on sort of that big EV push. So that stock is up almost 2%. But a lot of the other auto stocks are holding up well in a weak setup otherwise. Also losing and seeing some big cuts come through is the Bajaj twins. There's been a very negative report on Bajaj Finance, so that one is seeing some sharp cuts over there. So that's something that we would watch. And the entire tech space is, under pressure. Of course, we saw 1.5% cut on the Nasdaq. So something that, that we've been talking about as well. And in addition to tech, it is really the real estate stocks. In fact, the Nifty real estate index is perhaps the biggest sectoral loser as well as we speak. So that's what's going on with the market. We'll keep coming back to it. It is, of course, the big story. But let's begin by talking about the hawkish comments which came in from Fed Chair Jerome Powell and the global market reaction to this. So U.S. futures right now are trading pretty flat after that sharp sell-off that we saw on Tuesday. Asian markets are also largely lower. In fact, Hang Seng is seeing a cut of 2% after the weak handover that we got from the U.S. So let's listen in to what Fed Chair Jerome Powell said at his Senate testimony on Monday.
The process of getting inflation back down to 2% has a long way to go and is likely to be bumpy. The latest economic data have come in stronger than expected, which suggests that the ultimate level of interest rates is likely to be higher than previously anticipated. If the totality of the data were to indicate that faster tightening is warranted, we'd be prepared to increase the pace of rate hikes. Restoring price stability will likely require that we maintain a restrictive stance of monetary policy for some time.
All right, inflation fight is going to be bumpy. That's what is the word coming in from the Fed chair. Let's bring it back home onto the Adani saga. And Adani Group prepays 7,374 crore rupees of share-backed financing ahead of its maturity in April 2025. Let's take it straight across to our colleague Vivek Iyer, who has been very closely watching out and reporting on all the developments on Adani saga. This has been a positive move, Vivek. How do we see it and what are the details?
Well, you're absolutely right. One of the biggest worries, especially that, came about after the release of that particular report was the fact that, what kind of margin calls have been triggered as far as the pledged shareholding is concerned. But this latest development, that the company has given, to the exchanges, the fact that they've gone ahead and prepaid, some of the share-back financing that was there. As you mentioned, they've gone ahead and prepaid over 7,370 crores worth of share-back financing ahead of its maturity, and this is both to international banks as well as Indian financial institutions. So on the back of that, there will now be the following pledged company shares will be released, that the promoter holding was there. So when you're talking about Adani Ports, 11.8% of the promoter's holding will be released. Adani Enterprises, it's 4%. Adani Transmission, 4.5%. Adani Green, 1.2% of the promoter's holding will be released. These are significant numbers, especially given the fact that when you're taking into account both February as well as March 2023, the group has gone ahead and prepaid over $2,000 million of share-back financing. Now, in addition to that, another important trigger would be the fact that the company has actually said that they would, there's a promoters committed to go ahead and prepay all the share-back financing by 31st March 2023. So that's going to be an important trigger to watch out for.
All right, Vivek, thanks a lot for filling us in with all of the important details on this story. But with that, let's also bring you some important corporate comments. Axis Bank last week, remember, sealed the deal to acquire Citi's consumer business in India for rupees 11,600 crores. Now, this move will bring 3 million Citi customers into the Axis fold. We spoke exclusively with Amitabh Chaudhary, MD and CEO at Axis Bank this morning, and he sees huge opportunities and synergy benefits from this deal. So let's listen in to what he had to tell us.
The valuations, whichever way you cut it, at 17.7 to 18.7 times profits remains very, very competitive. If you look at similar listed businesses in the credit card and the wealth management space, which is the big part of what we're really buying, it will be obvious to everyone that we're not overpaid at all. Actually, our prices are very, very much in zone of what the kind of market caps of some of these companies are. Even though the Citi deposit franchise is only 4.5% of our franchise, I think we should note that it accelerates our journey, improving the quality of the overall combined liability franchise of the two entities put together. It's clearly visible with 10% improvement in our CASA market share. We will improve our overall CASA ratio by 1.5% and so on and so forth. There are a huge amount of cost benefits that can come to us through this deal because the Citibank franchise was being obviously debited with global costs, both for the corporate overhead and technology support. You mentioned the 1,500 crores as the amount of money we'll spend in transition, but once that goes away, the benefits we can get in terms of reduced costs also will feed into the overall profitability of the franchise. So we are very delighted. We are also delighted by the fact that we closed the transaction 1 month earlier than what we had anticipated. 97% of the employees have come into the fold of Axis. There was obviously also a requirement for express consents across liability products. So only on the express consent of the customer, they have been migrated to Axis.
All right, so large deal by Axis Bank are done and dusted, and now the synergistic benefits is to be seen and looked out for. To an exclusive coming in from the banking space now, and we learned from sources that RBI is likely to extend IndusInd Bank CEO Sumant Katpalia's term, and Lata Venkatesh is here with all the details. Lata.
Oh, well, that's what banking sources tell us, that people in the Reserve Bank appear to be satisfied with Sumant Katpalia's performance, and therefore the board's recommendation that he be given a 3-year term should be approved. In any case, these sources tell us that Reserve Bank wouldn't want instability in any bank, so giving 1 year and all that would be uncertainty, and therefore chances are that they're going with the full 3-year, which the board had recommended in mid-September. Katpalia's term the current term ends on March 24th, and therefore an announcement should be expected shortly. The board had extended way back in mid-September itself.
All right, Lata, thanks a lot for getting us all of the details on this story. It is the top gainer on the Nifty on the back of this news. But with that, we are going to get into our first short break on the show. On the other side, we get you an interesting story on the occasion of International Women's Day. Stay tuned for that special. Hey guys, welcome back. You're still tuned into Business Lunch here on CNBC TV18, and it is International Women's Day, and we are bringing you a very special today. This is about a group of women who are breaking the stereotype. The Queen's Drive Club is India's first and only women's supercar club, and it hosted its third drive with an aim to uplift and motivate the women of today. So CNBC TV18's Ashmit Kumar reports on this special story.
Well, what we have here essentially are exotic cars, beautiful women, and a bald guy in the middle of it all. Now, despite managing to tick all the boxes, this is not a shoot for Fast and the Furious, and I'm not the poor man's Vin Diesel. What I am, however, is intrigued. Intrigued because what we have here essentially are a group of more than 50 women who managed to flip the script when it comes to exotic cars. They own supercars, and now they're out to own the road. Welcome to Queen's Drive 2023. I see exotic cars, I see beautiful women, and I see this beautiful paint job that you've done on your car. Tell us about this paint job, tell us about Queen's Drive.
Queen's Drive Club is a club which I founded last year, which is basically a group of women who can come out together, who can have fun. It all started with one day when I saw my husband going out on drives with other men. But the thing was that he said, oh, we are all men, why do you want to join us? So it just struck me, you know what, I'm going to create my own women's group, get out on the road, and we are going to go for our own drive.
So this is the third edition.
Yeah.
Tell us what the viewers can expect today. What are we in for? What are you going for today?
So viewers can expect women from all over India coming out together, just going out for a drive and having a lot of fun, and telling the world that a woman can drive nations, they can drive countries, they can drive different offices, and they can drive very hell, whatever the hell they want to drive.
When you use the word women power, horsepower is not normally associated with it. So just quickly tell us about being a part of this women's driving club and what it means for you.
I'm here from Kolkata and just for this drive because I'm super excited to when I heard like something is happening, going to happen for like ladies, only for the women, and this is the best thing.
You very interestingly moments back told me that you've been born and raised in Delhi. Now any woman who's been born and raised in Delhi would not be unfamiliar with the probing eye of the males, of the men that we have here. Does this only magnify that many times over with more people looking at you?
Yes.
Because that's a stereotype women in Delhi especially have to deal with.
Yeah, it surely does.
So how do you deal with that? Do you get more attention? Do you do you take it in your stride? How does it work with
So I
more
ignore
men?
them. I really ignore them.
Well, every time I mention the word supercar, the very words that come to mind often are testosterone, muscle, and sometimes Vin Diesel. But the petrol head, that word is being turned on its very head by this group of 50 women. A group that, of course, are seen around the world as well, which slowly are sensitizing popular culture and essentially having a hell lot of fun.
All right, a very, very important story by our colleague Ashmit. And Pavitra, you have to agree that he brought about a lot of social issues and the perception that women can't drive.
Yeah.
And I hope that is broken on this Women's Day. At least that's our view and that's our hope. But on this very special day, we also wish all our female viewers a very happy International Women's Day. Take a look. Welcome back. You're watching Business Lunch. Now let's get you some important national development of the day and getting you updates from Northeast India. Well, Manik Saha takes oath as the Chief Minister of Tripura for the second term. 8 other ministers were also sworn in along with him, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi was also in attendance at the oath-taking ceremony in Agartala.
All right, that is some important information that we're getting in. But a quick programming note as well. It has been 9 years since the tragic disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 and its 239 passengers. Oscar nominee and Emmy Award winner Lawrence Fishburne seeks answers in a special documentary. So you can catch the premiere of history's greatest mysteries, Malaysia Flight 370, tonight at 9 p.m. only on History TV 18.